Former Bachelorette star Rachel Lindsay will be blogging exclusively with us weekly each week about her opinion on Arie Jr.'s journey to find love on The Bachelor. Check back every Tuesday for her recap. So this week, I missed the first 10 minutes of the show, and as a result, missed the ladies' arrivals to Italy and the first half of Becca K's date. I thought I would not be able to write about their one-on-one, but I reached out to my Twitter followers to fill in the blanks and they did not fail me. The general consensus pretty much summed up their date like this: Becca K swirled her dress. They walked around. Arie questioned if they have a connection. He passionately kissed her. He is connected now. Special shout out to @Delaney31 for giving me that breakdown. Becca K gets the rose and they are much more confident in their relationship moving into hometowns. Meanwhile, back at the house the dramatics are in full effect. Last week we were introduced to Jacqueline getting a one-on-one and crying. This week we meet her tears yet again. Looks like Jacqueline found the secret to getting airtime on the show. We really did not know her before last week. The date card arrives and Lauren B gets the next date. This sends Jacqueline spiraling out of control. The spiral carries her down to Arie's room to talk. I personally think Jacqueline knows the obvious. She is a smart girl. She knows she is not the one, and it is better that she save herself from the inevitable. I cannot understand Jacqueline's extreme emotions, but ultimately Jacqueline's doubts and uncertainty send her home. In my opinion, Arie seems to be relieved. For him, it is one less heart to break, 1 down and 5 to go. Arie and Lauren B go on their date. On this date there are a lot of new things that Arie and Lauren B are experiencing together, but one thing remains constant: the lack of communication. This is surprising because these two lovebirds are on this Italian adventure exploring a different country and one another for the first time together, and they still have nothing to talk about. Those are not red, white, and green flags waving in the distance, those are red ones. Is it just me or is this not alarming? Arie is again concerned about his relationship with Lauren B, as he should be. I, too, am worried that there is no depth in this relationship. Arie states, and I painfully see it as well, that he is trying so hard, harder than in any other relationship. I wonder, is this love, infatuation, or just the hard-to-get challenge of it all? During the night, Lauren finally opens up and states that she is falling in love with Arie. I got to give it to her. She doesn't communicate at all, but when she does she dives in deep. Although, she only says she is falling in love with her words because there is absolutely no emotion in her face. Arie gets up and walks away. We never get the full answer of why he does this, but my best guess is that he is overcome with so much emotion that she is falling for him. I personally think he took a moment to run off, jump for joy, click his heels together in the air, and scream with delight into the night. He comes back to her and says all of the following without hesitation: I want it so bad for us. He is falling deeply in love with her and is excited to meet her family. Excuse me for 2 seconds. What did Arie just say? All further dates will be painful and pale in comparison to this one. That's it. Show is over, there is nothing more to see here, folks. He literally just told Lauren she is the one and everyone else is a placeholder. I said it last week and I will say one more time for the people in the back. Arie is on cloud 9 with Lauren B while the other women are looking up at them from their hotel rooms. I think this might be my last recap. Clearly, we can see how this goes. I would be so upset if I were the other girls watching this at home right now. In hindsight, it is too bad they all couldn't have the foresight Jacqueline did. He's not that into you now, remember, I just said all dates would be painful to watch after witnessing how enamored Arie is with Lauren B. Unfortunately, Sane's date is not an exception to this statement. Her date is a how-to guide to know when he is just not that into you. Sane and Arie go hunting for truffles. From the outside looking in, they seem to be having a great time making pasta and hanging out with this random Italian family. But we have the inside scoop after watching Lauren B.'s date, and have the ability to compare. We note that there is an extreme friendly nature to this date and no romance. Arie was more romantic with the pasta, as he did preface this date with his love of food and not Sane. During the night, he asks Sane the tough questions, basically the kind of questions that will provide him a scapegoat to send her home. He is not even trying with her, other than trying to say goodbye. As we expected, he sends her home. I am going to take a moment here to make a declaration, here yet. Sane is beyond amazing. Take that rose and slap some sense into yourself, Arie. On this date, Sane was blindsided and Arie was just blind. Sane is A through Z. She is the totally package. The last date card comes and it is the infamous 3-on-1. Tia, Kendall, and baby Becca get the pleasure of being on this date. The three go to a gorgeous villa and each spends one-on-one time with Arie. Kendall sits with Arie first. I like that she always maximizes her time with Arie and uses it to get to know him better. Arie and Kendall seem to grow closer. Next, Tia gets to spend some one-on-one time with him, and while the sun is out, it is still very shady outside. The shade seemed to cover the villa as Tia used her time to discuss baby Becca and her age with Arie. No surprise here, these dates are usually cutthroat and Tia brought her sharpest knife to the table. Later, Tia relayed to baby Becca that she told Arie her concerns over baby Becca's age and questioned the seriousness of her relationship with Arie. Of course, Tia said her heart was in the right place because she was talking to baby Becca as an older sister. Let me just tell you something, I have two sisters and they don't talk to me like that. I call Becca baby Becca to differentiate her between the other Becca and for simple alliteration. If all of the Laurens were still on the show, they would have nicknames too. I think baby Becca is the most interesting and dynamic lady on this season. I am a fan. I actually feel sorry for baby Becca. It never feels good to have people talk about you behind your back, especially when they are a friend. I think baby Becca should be allowed to determine the fate of her relationship with Arie sans the 2 cents of another woman's opinions. That information could have been shared prior to this point if it was that major of a concern, not in the 13th hour when it seems more random and intentional. In these situations, it is best to focus on your own relationship. It is okay to think it, but do not let those thoughts escape your mind and run out of your mouth. I think Tia's revelation to Arie was the beginning of the end for their relationship. Arie gives Kendall the rose, while baby Becca and Tia have to wait a bit longer for their fate. Arie eventually sends baby Becca home and she holds it together until she walks away from him. I really do feel like Arie was connected to baby Becca differently than all the other women, but he could not get over her age. Baby Becca may be 22, but her outfit on this date sure was not, and neither was the way she handled her exit. Baby Becca is magnetic.